Hi and welcome to this updates section. So in this section, I'm going to look at the new Mailmunch features, and the features we're going to look at are broadcasts. We're also going to look at landing pages. So log into Mailmunch, and when you log in, make sure you go into the website where you want to make the forms or you want to create the broadcasts and the landing pages. So when you get to the dashboard area, you can see this is how it looks like. This section where I'm doing Mailmunch updates, I've already done a video about broadcasts. So if you want to learn how to create broadcasts, go and watch that video. And then I also did a video on how to create segments with your subscribers. So if you didn't watch that as well, go and watch that. And the coming videos, I want to look at landing pages in Mailmunch. So just in brief, the first video about landing pages, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through how to create a landing page, and I'm going to go through the overview, just the step-by-step process, how to build, how to create the landing page until the end. And then after that, I'm going to do an in-depth tutorial on how you can create a landing page just by using this content as a sample. Okay, so I'm going to go inside of forms, and inside of forms, that's where we're going to create our landing page. You can also start by creating it here. If you're on the home page, you can just click there, but we are going to go into forms, and then we're going to start creating our landing page. We're going to learn how to build the landing page. So I will see you in the next video, and in the next video we're going to start by looking at the overview of how you can create the landing page in Mailmunch. So I'll see you in the next video. In this video, I want to do an overview of landing pages in Mailmunch. Let me start by going into forms, and if you want to create landing pages, you're going to find them under forms. So here under forms, you'll see that we have create new, and you can create a new form under landing page. So these are some forms that I created in this tutorial, and you can see how all of them were created if you look at the videos. Landing pages will also be down here once you create your first landing page. So if you have landing pages, you will find them here. So let's start by creating a new landing page, and we're just going to do an overview of landing pages in Mailmunch. So to create a new one, just click on create and then landing page. And then of course, the next step is for you to choose a template. So I'll just choose this one. So if you watched the video on how to create broadcasts, then you're very familiar with this window. You can just do the same editing that I did in the broadcast. For example, let's say you want to create a landing page that has 2 rows. Okay, so you can add the row in there, and then inside of the row, maybe you may want to add an image. Inside of this, you may want to add an image. Maybe it's a logo, or it's an image of the product, an image of someone using the product that you're trying to create awareness for. Maybe on this side, you may want to add text. If you want to add text, you can add text in there. And if you want to add, let's say, a pop-up on your landing page, you'll just bring in this HTML block and you can drop it anywhere. And inside of this HTML block, just put in your code in there. The code for any pop-up that you want to add, you can just add it in there. Or if you want to add a YouTube video, you can just use this and you add the YouTube video here. And I'm going to show you how to do that, and I'm going to add this video when I get to creating a landing page. So as I said, this is just an overview of how to use the landing page, how to create a landing page in Mailmunch. If you want to add a button, I showed you how you can add a button. So you can add your button in there and edit the button in any way that you want. So that's just how to work with the editor here. So if you know how you want to design your landing page, then you're just going to come in here and add anything that you need to add. If you want to add the form, you see we already have a form, but you can add another form, and then inside of your form you can choose the fields that you want. Maybe you have a name, you can add the name there. So let's say maybe you want to make the button, you want to make this button full width. What you'll do, you'll just scroll down until you see the section of button, and you can increase the width here so that it can be full width. And if you want it to be wider, you'll just find padding, anything about padding. You'll just find space about padding, and you can increase the padding, and it is going to make this huge. Now you can also change the text, and to change this text you can just edit that in there. Okay, so that is how you'd edit this. And if this form wasn't here, this is how you'd add another form if you want to add another form. And if you want to edit this form such that it is some kind of a long registration, you can just click on it and add the fields. So here we have the email field. You can add any other field. You can create a new field if you want. Okay, you can create a new field. Maybe you're creating a long registration for people, then you can use any of this, and if you don't need that, you'll just delete it and move on to the next thing. So that's basically how you can work around here. And if you watched the video about broadcasts, you know that this is a very easy thing to do, and you can do that yourself by just playing around with all this content and getting the design that you desire. So in the next process, that's when you're going to create the thank you. Maybe you want somebody, once they sign up, you want to give them something, or you want to tell them a thank you. That's what you'll do in the next process. And let's just say save and continue. So something I didn't tell you is that this is your logo. You can change it. This is just an image. You can change it to use your actual logo. All right. You can use your own web page as the thank you page. So you see here we have redirect. So you can redirect this to go to your own web page. Okay. So once you create the landing page, you can just use your own thank you page. So if you want to use your own web page, you can use your own web page. If you want a thank you page, you can just create something there and edit it. Maybe you want people to access a specific download link. You want them to access a download link as soon as they sign up. So you can just add a button here. You can just add a button that will have the download for whatever you want to give them. If maybe it is a course, and this is, let's say for example on Udemy, you're giving out a coupon. So you can add the link to the Udemy course right there, the link that has the coupon. So that's one way that you can use this landing page, or you can just use it to say thank you for signing up. Just thank you without having any button or any link or any download. That entirely depends on your workflow. Like, you want people to sign up, and what next? Okay, so that's entirely up to you. Maybe it's a webinar that's upcoming and you're just telling people to sign up. So once you create the thank you page, you can just save it. And then I'll just click save and continue so that we can go to the next step. And then the next process, you just need to add information about the page, like maybe the title. So let's say that's going to be my title, and that's what I'll put there. And then the page URL. So this is the link that you're going to share with people so that they can get access to this landing page. If you want to use your own domain, this is going to be a premium feature. You won't be able to add a custom domain until you upgrade. So you will just use this. The link for this is going to get generated based on this. and then you need to choose the list. Which list do you want people who sign up on your landing page, which list do you want to add them to? Okay, so if you have different lists, make sure you choose the correct list so that they don't get mixed up. Or you can even create a new list entirely for your landing page. And this is also a premium feature, and if you want to get notified every single time somebody subscribes, then you can turn this on. And that's it for this part. So let me just save and continue. So this is just like with forms, okay? While we were looking at forms, you saw me integrate with Mailchimp, and I also integrated with GetResponse. So this is the same thing. So if your account is already connected, you can just send your subscribers to Mailchimp, and you can use the Mailchimp automation to maybe send some kind of automation to your new subscribers. Maybe you want to tell them something every week. You want to get them to buy something from you. You can use the Mailchimp automation, which is nowadays is free to everyone. In Mailchimp, if you're on the free plan, you can send a maximum of 12,000 emails every month, and the maximum subscribers that you can have is 2,000 subscribers. So if you want to connect with Mailchimp, yeah, you can do that here, and that will ensure that every subscriber that comes into Mailmunch will also get exported into your Mailchimp list, the list that you choose here. So if you have an account that you've connected, just choose that account, and then you're going to choose the correct list to use, and then you're going to match the fields. Okay, like if an email, you're going to match it to an email. If you have a first name, you're going to match that to a field in your Mailchimp list. If you don't know how to do this, you can go back to the sections on how to create forms. I did very intensive videos about that. So that's it for this part. Let's just save and continue. So you see, you can publish your landing page, and I would need to upgrade this because I'm using this feature. So let me go back, and I think it's not there. Was it here? Yes, this feature. I can just turn that off and then save and go into publish. And now you see, just like that, your landing page is ready. If you want to get people to join your landing page, you can now start sharing this link, and I'll just copy the address, and you see it brings up my landing page. So of course I haven't designed it yet, but this is how yours would work if you edited yours. So you see, you cannot use a custom domain, but if you upgrade your account, you'll be able to use a custom domain. So we are here on publish. You can tweet, you can share this link on Facebook, you can even market this, you can even create an ad about this on Facebook. So let me just publish, and if I publish my landing page, you'll find it down here. So that's pretty much it for this video. Okay, in this video we've just taken a look at how to work with the Mailmunch landing pages. All right, so I will see you in the next video. Hi and welcome back. So in the last video we looked at this overview of landing pages, and I'm just going to delete this because it was just a brief overview. And in this video what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a landing page from scratch, and I'm going to use the content on this page to help me with that. So I'm going to use this video. I'm also going to add a sign up form, an opt-in form on the landing page, and I will add some of these texts. And if you want to create your landing page looking exactly like the one that I'm going to build, then you start following along with me. And if you want to create landing pages, you're going to have to come into forms. So if you're not already here, just click on forms and then click on create landing page. And the next step, of course, is you're going to have to choose a template. So I'll just choose this one. Before I even go any further, you can see that this is going to be the width of my landing page, and I don't want this to be the width. So I will go inside of body and I will change this because I want it to be 960. Okay, I can't get that, so I can use 950, and I'm going to design it my own way. Of course, I'm not going to have the form looking like this. So the next step that I want to do before I end the video is I'm going to change this logo, and I'll just click on it, then click on upload image, and there we go. Now that's my logo up there. You can add your logo if you want to or not. Since this is a landing page, it's up to you to decide whether you want your logo up there or not. And then I want to add a row up here, and then I'm going to move this inside of that row, and then I'm going to end the video after that, and we'll continue from there. So I'll come into rows, and I want to add a certain kind of row here. And the row that I want to add is one whereby I will have a video on this side and I will have the form on this end. I'll just drag this here, and I'm going to have a video here, and I'm also going to have my form on this side. So let me just drag the first thing here, which is this content. So I'll drag this one in there first of all, and you can see it's not visible, and that is because the text is white and the background is white. So I'm going to fix this later on, just bear with me. And the next thing that I want to drag in here is this form. So I'll just bring the form in there. You can also see the form has lost its background, and we are going to fix that. And then here I'm going to add a video. Okay, so just hold on, I will do that in the next video. So in this video, what we've done, we've just started designing our landing page, and we've said that we're going to have a video on this end, and we're going to have the opt-in form on this side, because it's very important for people when they come in, they just see the opt-in form, so that if they want to join right away, they can just join without scrolling down. So you need to add the call to action at the top, so that it is visible above the fold line. The fold line, that is a line whereby you don't have to scroll to see anything. Everything above the fold line will be visible without scrolling. So that's the point of this landing page. You're going to have the call to action up here. Any other elements, maybe you want to add more text, you can add them below. But most importantly, you're going to have a form at the top so that people can just sign up without having to scroll. So that's it for this video. I will see you in the next video when we continue from here. Hi and welcome back. So in the last video, we started designing our landing page, and in this video, let's continue from here where we left off. And in this video, let me add a video here, and I'm going to add this video. First of all, let me just open it on YouTube so that I can add the embed, so that I can get the embed code. So I'll just click on share to embed to get the embed code, and here's the embed code. And the first thing I want to do is I want to remove suggested videos at the end of this video. So I'm going to copy, and I can just add it here. And one thing that you have to know is when you add the video here, you're going to have an issue whereby the video is not responsive, meaning that it's going to overflow into the elements which are this side. And I'm going to fix that later on using CSS. So let me add this HTML element in there. And if I click on the HTML element, I can add my YouTube video right in there. And once I do that, the video will get embedded here. Now you can see the video is not going all the way to this side, but if this was a smaller screen, it would go this way, and we're going to make sure that the video is responsive regardless of the screen size that someone is viewing this on. So the next thing I'm going to do is I want to make the background of this area black, and the reason that I'm doing that is because the changes that I'm going to make in this video is going to have some padding at the top, which will be black, and here will be black. So I want to make the entire top black, and that's going to give us the text content here. And it's also going to make this black, but I'm going to show you later on how you can use CSS to make this any color that you want. Now, I'll just click on this element, and if I come down here, I will see for row. I'll look for row, and I can click on row. And when I click on row, you're going to get this background color. And the background color, you can choose any color that you want here, but I want the color to be something like black. Okay, this looks black enough for me, so I'm going to leave it like that, and I'm going to say done. And also with this text, you can choose how you want it to be. If you want it to be aligned to the left, which is how I'm going to leave it. And don't worry about this. You can see it's cutting. It's not showing you everything, but when you view this, when you preview this, it's going to be okay. And then the next thing that I want to do is I want to make the button full width. Okay, so if I click on this button and I come all the way down to where it says button, I will find this and I can just drag it to make the button full width. Okay, so just note that I'm going to make this text and this, I'm going to make them I'm going to make it red. Okay, it's very important that the call to action is clearly visible, so I'm going to give it a background of red, and that will make sure that this is very visible and it can clearly be seen. This video as well, if you want to make this video to autoplay, how you'll do that, you'll just come here into your embed code and after rel, so this is the one that makes sure that at the end of the video there are no related videos. So if you want to make sure it autoplays, you're just going to add and autoplay is equals to 1, and that will make sure the video autoplays if you want it to autoplay. And what I mean is this: autoplay is equals to 1. And if I add this, it's going to make sure my video autoplays. So when people go into your landing page, your video is going to start autoplaying. But because I don't want this to happen for me every time that I'm viewing this video, here, I'm going to remove the autoplay, but that's how you can do it. And also, if you want to make sure that the video autoplays, but it autoplays in the mute mode so that you don't make noise for people when they land on your page, you can just add and mute is equals to 1. So if you add this, this will make sure that when somebody comes onto your landing page, the video will autoplay and it will be muted. But this only works on the desktop. I haven't seen it work on mobile phones. If you want it to autoplay on desktop versions, then just add autoplay and mute it if you want to mute it. So I'm going to remove this too. One thing that I want to do before I even deal with any of this, I'm going to try to go all the way to publish so that we can publish this, so that at least we can have something to preview it. I wish they had a way to preview this before going all the way through. So I'm just going to come all the way here. So let me edit this first of all, at least, before I can create and publish the page. So let's say I edit it, and here in editing, this is where we're going to add a button for people to join the course. Okay, so right now I can just come here and inside of content, I'll just add a button and I will deal with that later on. For now, let me just leave it as it is. And then I'll go all the way to publish. And I know I still need to have this, but at least now we have this and we can use this to preview our landing page, which is important. So you can see this is what we currently have, and we're going to make it better. Just wait, we're going to make it better. We're going to have a title down here, and we're going to have this call to action here, which is way more visible. We're going to have it with a red background so that it is visible. Okay, we don't want something that is not visible. What's the point of having something that people can't see? And this is a landing page. So that's it for this video. I will see you in the next video, and in the next video what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, I'm first of all going to make this video responsive. Let's say that I reduce it, let me see if there's a way I can see. You see what we have here? This is what I don't want. This is what I don't want. This is colliding with this, and I don't want that. So I'm going to give this video responsive. I'm going to make it responsive in the next video. So I will see you in the next video when we continue from here. Hi and welcome back to this video. And in this video, what I want to do is I want to make this video responsive so that the video can resize itself based on the screen upon which it is being viewed. So if somebody is viewing it on a mobile phone, then the video will need to resize accordingly based on that mobile phone. And then if someone is viewing it on a tablet or on a laptop, we want to make sure that the video is not getting cut off. So what I mean is, when I go down like that, you see, we have this colliding with this. If I continue all the way down, you're going to see that the video gets cut off. Okay, we don't want this situation. Let's say maybe this was an interview of you and some people. One person on this end will get cut off, and that's something that you don't want. So we're going to make this video responsive, and we're also going to give this a background of red because we want this element to be clearly visible because it is a call to action. You want to make sure that your call to action is very visible as soon as somebody lands on your page. So I'm going to come back here, and this is currently the code for this YouTube embed, and I'm going to use this to make it responsive. So this is courtesy of thenewcode.com. So I'm going to adapt this for Mailmunch so that it can work on Mailmunch. So the idea here is, instead of adding this directly, we put it inside of a div, and then we give that div a class, and then we style that class using this CSS. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this entire thing and then copy. Then I'll come back and I'll paste the whole thing. And of course, it's not going to work right off the bat because this is CSS and this is HTML. So what I'm going to do is I need this to be passed as HTML. So I'm going to add the style tags. So when I add this, it's going to make sure that everything that I put inside of here will be passed as CSS. Then I need to close the style tag. And once I close this, just like that, our video is now responsive. So if I go to the next step and I come back here and I'm going to the next step so that it can save, and if I come here and I refresh the page, you're going to see that our video is now responsive. So if I reduce the size of this, you can see that the entire video is visible. The entire video is visible, and there is no point where these two are going to collide. And that's very important for your design as well, because if someone is viewing this on a tablet, this and this would collide if your video is not responsive. And one thing that I may have mentioned is that the reason why I made this black, the background black, is because when I use this CSS to make this responsive, normally there is some black padding that comes up here. Okay, so there's a black padding. If I start to play the video, you're going to see the black padding, and this is just a way for me to mask that. And this was a contemplative solution that I thought about when I knew that I was going to use that CSS. So you can add it or not, it doesn't really matter. I bet people are used to seeing it. Even you, I bet there are certain videos you've seen whereby there's a small black spot just right here when you start playing the video, and that's just padding. Okay, it doesn't really matter that much. You can make this background whatever you want as long as you don't care about the blackness, that is the black color that comes here. Now the next step is for me to make this red. I want to change the background of this to red so that it is very clear. As soon as somebody comes on this page, I want them to see that this is where the form is. You click there, you will join the course. You put in your elements, you'll join the course. If you want your conversion rates to increase tremendously, you'll need to remove this. Okay, you just have the email field there. When you have the email field, your conversion rate definitely goes higher. People will just type in the email, join the course. The way that I want to make this background red is using CSS. So I'm going to add the CSS. If I come back here, I'm going to add my CSS inside of the same element where we added the embed code. So we're going to use this as a place whereby we can add our custom CSS. Okay, you can create another HTML element, but I'm just going to use this one because what's the point of adding another one? Well, I can just use this one. So I'm going to use my browser debugger to know the selector for this entire element, and then I'm going to change the color, the background color, to red. Okay, so if you know CSS, if you know even a little bit of CSS, okay, you don't even have to know CSS. You can just see what I'm doing and follow along. So like I'm using the Opera browser, and if you're not using Opera like me, you're probably using Chrome or Firefox, Safari. Just inspect the element, okay, and I want to select this entire area here. Now that's not the one. Okay, you can see that is this one. Then this, yes, this is the one that I want, and you can see that it selects this entire column. Now I want to style that column, and the way that I'm going to do that, you can see it's even named here as column 4. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new element. I don't want to use the same element. I'm going to add a new element because that color is going to be consistent throughout, regardless of the screen size. Okay, you can see here, this one affects screens which are 767 pixels and above, but I want mine to only affect any screen regardless of the size. So the selector here, this is an ID selector, and I want to add a background of red. So background color, there we go. And I want to use the hexadecimal color system, and red usually is RGB, so that's going to be R is going to be F, and then we're going to have 00, and that's red. So just like that, you can see our background, our form is red like we want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, because if I leave this here, it doesn't really matter, because as soon as I reload this page, this is going to disappear. But if I copy it and I bring it into part of my CSS here, Control V, you can see the color is changing to red, and that's what we want. So if I click done, so this is not the end of the CSS things that we are going to do in this video. There is something else that I'm going to need to do with CSS, and I think you can already see it. If you look at this, you can see that it is too much. It is too close to this one. I will find a way to reduce this so that we can have some space in between the two elements. If you like the space the way it is, then you can leave yours like this. Okay? So that's what we had set out to do in this video, to make this responsive and to change the background color of this. So if I come here and I go to the next step so that at least you can save it, and then I come back and I reload, you can see that it is now persistent. The color has been changed to red, and of course if somebody comes here, they'll definitely know that this is the call to action, and this is way visible than what we had in the beginning. All right. So in this video, what we've done, we have made this responsive and we have changed the color of this. So using the same principle that I used in this video to change the color of this, you can use CSS in your landing pages in the same way that I did. Okay, you just bring your CSS inside of an HTML element, and then you add them in using the style tags. Okay, you put them within the style tag. If you put it within the style tag, then the CSS will get passed as CSS. Otherwise, it will just be like text element. So you have to add the style tags to make sure that your CSS is read as CSS. That's what passing means, just reading it as CSS. Okay, that's pretty much it for this video. So let's continue on in the next video, and we are almost done with this. This was the most complicated part in this tutorial, and the next part will be very easy, just adding text elements. So I will see you in the next part, in the next video. Hi, and welcome back. So in the last video, you saw how to make this video responsive and how to change the background color of this element using CSS. So the next step really is just coming in here, and I want to add this text down here. And I can see that this is already a row, but I don't care for this row. So I will delete it because I don't want it. I don't need it based on the design that I have in my head. And then I will just come in here and I want to add this text content. I want to add it on the left. Copy. And then once I add it on the left, I want to add another image right on the right side of it. And then after that, I'm going to add another form below just so that we can have another call to action. You don't want a situation whereby people scroll down, they read all that, and then they still have to come back. At least you need to add another form down there so that people don't have to come back up to sign up if they like what they can read. So you can make yours as short as you can make your landing page as short as you want, or as long as you want, as long as at least you have a clear way for people to opt in. So this is very important, the opt-in part. So I will add a row. Which row do I want? I want a row which is equal on both sides. And I'm going to add text on this side, and I'm also going to add an image on this side. So if you don't want the image, you can make this a full row and just have your text without really having to add the image. It's really not serving any purpose except for just adding an image here. If you have images, you can add as many of them as you want. Maybe people using the product, you can add as many of them as you want. Now I'm going to come into content, and instead of content, I want to add text here. And on this other one, I will add an image. And of course, before I even do all of that, let me add a divider here. Okay, I don't want it there. I want it there. And then, so this divider will help add space. So you can make it as big as you want. Let me put it there at 26. And then I want it to have no line. So if you want it to be like a way to separate your element, you can make it something that is thick, and then you change the color. You change the color if you want to. You see, you can design yours using these elements which are here, but I don't care much for that. So I'm going to remove mine and make it and remove the line completely. And then I'm going to duplicate this. And once I duplicate it, I want to drag one to the other side, another one to this side, so that you can have the same spacing between them. Now here inside of text, let me come here and I want to copy all of this text, copy. And as I told you, if you want to copy element such that you don't bring it with a style, you see now, if I copy this, it's going to come with the style on my website. I don't want that. So if your browser is like mine, you can copy as plain text. Or if it is not like mine and you are on Windows, you can open Notepad, paste in everything in there, and then copy everything again and then paste it. And if you are on a Mac and you don't have Notepad, you can use text edit and just change the preferences of text edit to plain text. And once you do that, you can paste in any element inside of text edit, copy it, and it will automatically strip out all the CSS that comes with whatever you pasted in there. Now, of course, I'm going to change this into bold. Increase the text. Let me make it 34 and I'll make it bold. It's very important you don't add any links inside of your landing page. Any unnecessary links, don't add any links. It is detrimental to the function of a landing page. Okay, you don't want people clicking to go anywhere else when they are on your landing page, unless that is intended. So now I've added this, right? Some people will want to read this, some people won't care. That's why this is up here. They can watch the video or they can just join immediately. So if yours is a PDF and it is not a course like mine, you can even add an image here. You don't have to add a video. You can add an image if yours is a PDF or you're just giving away an ebook. You can see this is already pushing things down. So if you don't want this, you can just remove it and then you add maybe a list of items, what people are going to learn, just 3. You summarize and you add 3 things down here with a heading, and you can see my video is taking too much space. So if you want to reduce that, you can reduce that. And then I'm going to show you how you can add more space and the video is going to get reduced. So you can add the title here, there, like free Bluehost tutorial, and then what they're going to learn. Summarize 3 things and add them there. And then on this side, you can add reviews. If people have given you reviews in the past, okay, and you have screenshots, you can just add those screenshots here, or you can add them as text with the images of people. So let me just do like one example here. If I add an image, of course, first of all, I need to tell people what exactly is this. So you can add it here or you can add it below this. It's entirely up to you. It doesn't really matter how you add it, because the elements that come after this, most of the times they don't matter. The most important things are usually above the fold line. So let's say I click on this and then I add an image, right? Maybe that's my image. So there you go. You can have your image in there. Maybe that's an image of somebody who gave you a review, okay? But for me, I'm just going to add this one image here. And if this was a review, maybe what you can do, you can add an image here, the review on this side, another review there, image there, or image there, review here. This is something you can do considering you know how to use the rows and the columns in the Mailmunch editor. Now, the last thing that I want to do in this landing page is I'm going to add this sign up. I'm going to add it down here, okay? And that is going to get us closer to finishing this landing page. So I will see you in the next video when we continue from here. All right, so let me save this by going to the next step. So if I reload this, let me see how everything is coming along so far. So maybe you can combine a bunch of images just showing people using the product, or if it is something, if it is a recipe, you can combine a bunch of images that look like this. This one you stack one below it so that when you upload it here, it will look like one long image that will span all the way down. So you can design yours in the most beautiful way that you want. This is one image. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pause the recording for a moment, and then I'm going to go into Photoshop and I'm going to combine a bunch of images that look like this so that I can get an image which is a portrait image that spans all the way down. So if I come back here and let me go back into design, this is the image that I've stacked up just for the purpose of this demonstration, and I just want to see how it's going to appear when I use it as my image. So if I come here and I click on upload, and I will select it, and there we go. So let me go to the next step, save it so that I can see how it's going to appear on the main landing page. So if I reload this, you can see you can do something similar. So if you have a bunch of images, maybe different people that are using a particular product that you're trying to create awareness for, then you can stack a bunch of images related to that product so that you can have one long image that will work for your scenario, like I've done here. I want to add another form down here. So you can do anything you want with your landing page. Like you can see mine doesn't have a title. Let me just do that right now. If I come into design, I want to add the title, and the title that I want to add is this one. Copy. And if I come back here, I can just add a text element. Let me go into content and I will choose text and I will add it there. So before I even do that, let me change the color of the text to white. And then of course I want to increase the size of this. Let me make it, I can make it 36 pixels, and I can make it bold as well. So once I add this heading here, so down here I want to add a form. I want to add another form, and I want to add this form. So if I want to add another element down here, I'll first of all have to go inside of row. And how do I add this form? Because if I use one long one, it's going to give me a pretty long form, and I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, so I can drag that down there. Okay, finally it's there. Now what I want to do is I want to add a form on this side, and I want to add some text on this side. So the text that I want to add, let me just copy this. Let me add that in there. Paste as plain text. Then on this side, I'm going to add the form. I will just drag the form in there. Let me change the button join now, and then I want the button to be full width. Let me click on row. When I hover and I click on row, I can change the background to something different. Let me change the background to something that is close to red. Then I'll change the color of this, change the color to white. So if you have anything else to add beneath this, you can do that. And then of course, there's something I don't want here. I don't want these labels. I will come into my form. If I click on the form and I click on email field, I can click on show label or don't show label. So when I uncheck it, it's going to remove the label, and that's something that I want. I mean, I could do something more with this, but yeah, I'm just going to leave it here for your imagination. If you want to add anything else, you can do whatever you want. You can add text above it, but I've decided to add the text on this side so that this side doesn't become empty. And you can add some kind of footer element down here. So let me save this so that you can preview it. And if I come here and I reload, and there we go, that's my landing page. You can add spacing as much as you want. You can see here, I could add some space. There, we finally have this, and since Mailmunch wants everyone to know that you're a freeloader, then they're going to add this down here. So of course this is not going to show up if you've upgraded your account. This is only showing up for you if you're on the free plan. Okay, so another thing, maybe you can add some spacing down here. This is not really working well with Mailmunch all showing me this. So if I come here into row, and since I can't scroll down, I'll just add it there. And scroll down, and then I'm going to drag it. You know what? This video is becoming too long for me. So I will see you in the next video. And in the next video, we're going to end this section on Mailmunch. I'm just going to work on adding that space here. And then after that, I'm going to show you how you can add space between this and this using custom CSS. So we're going to come back here and we're going to add our CSS in here like we did for this one. So I will see you in the next video. Hi and welcome back. So the next step is I want to try to add the space down here. So I can add that there. And I just want to add spacing. So content divider. So I'm going to add the spacing for this. I want it to be, let's say 50, and then I'm going to duplicate it. And let me drag this one. You know what? I'll just leave it like that. I guess that's going to add spacing for everything that we need. So if I say thank you and I just want to add some spacing down here, and you can see that did it. So that did it. Unfortunately, I'm still seeing this, but I showed you how to remove these lines. So if you just come back here and you click on this, and then you come to line, you make this 0, the line will disappear. Click on this one as well. There, the line will disappear. Thank you. So that we can save it, go back. So you can also see that here you may also need to add some space. Okay, so that's entirely dependent on you. If you want to add space here, go ahead and add space. Personally, I don't really care because this landing page is not going to be live. And the next thing that I want to do is I want to reduce the spacing here, and I also want to make this in line with this video. And I'm going to do that using our favorite friend, CSS. So I'm just going to start right away by selecting this element. Okay, let me inspect this element. Column 4. That's the row. Yeah, this is the one that you want, column 3. Now here in column 3, I want to reduce the width of this. You can see the width is 66 pixels and 66% when the screen is 768 pixels and above. So I'm going to have to copy this entire thing once I change the width. So let me change this to, let me say I make this 58%. Now 58% is now the current width of this, and you can see that pushes this element on this side, and that is evident based on the fact that this is not in line with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a margin right. This side is right? Yeah, so margin right. And I want to give it 58 minus 66, that's 8. So I want to give it 8% so that it can go all the way to this side. And that's going to give us some spacing here. So if you want to make it if you want to make the video even smaller, you can do that by just reducing this and increasing the margin on this side. Okay, so you cannot just copy this code to make it work for you. You're going to have to know the column with which you're working with, and you can see how to get the column using the inspector right here on your debugger. And I'm just going to copy this. Copy, and then I'll bring it here, and I want to make this the float left thing. We didn't change that, so that shouldn't matter. And width 58 mean that of course we have to add this, and we have to add this. So when I do that, you can see that this one comes down to the next line. Okay, this is how it's appearing here, but I know if I save this, let me just save it so that we can confirm the functionality on this page. So let me close this for a minute, and I will just refresh my page. So if I refresh the page, and let me just try to play around with, this browser of mine to see how it is. So you can see everything just works out okay. Nothing is mixing up with any element. Nothing is colliding. You can see all these elements are still okay. And I've just realized that for this, you may have to bring this on this side and this one on this side, interchange the positions. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if I resize this any further to a point where things are starting to break down, you can see the image will be on top nicely, and then this will be down. And you can add space here. You can add space here on your design. If you just go to your design and you add space down there, you can add the divider, and that will give you spacing. And then if you come down, the reason why I'm saying that you need to interchange this is because you can just see that this ought to be above the form. And since this is on this side, then it means that it will fall down when the browser resizes down. And if someone is viewing this on a mobile phone, this is how it's going to appear for them. And this is not right. You ought to put this on the other side and this on the other side. Okay. So interchange the sides, the positions of these two. Or another alternative is for you to just have this here, and then you add another text up here that tells people join this free tutorial. And I can just copy this, copy, and then if I come back here, I can click on this. Let me go into content and I want to add this. Okay. And once you do that, you can completely even remove this. You see, you just remove this. And if you want to add, actually this side you can add an image. This is a nice place to add an image. Or you can add some kind of a legal text, like we're not going to use your data without your permission. We're not going to share your data. If you have one of those business trust logos, you can add them here, like the Better Business Bureau. That's the BBBBB. So if you have any of those business trust seals, you can just add them here on your landing page. Okay, so that's it for this video. And in the next video, I just realized I forgot to cover this, and that is this. I want to make this in line with this. You can see they're not in line. In the next video, I'm going to use CSS to make this, to drop this just a little bit down so that it can be in line with this one. So I will see you in that next video. Hi and welcome back. So in this video, what I want to do is I want to make this go in line with this, and we're going to use CSS for this. And I want to add the CSS. So I'm going to add it inside here. So if I come here, I'm going to inspect the element, and by now you have found a way to do this depending on the browser that you're using. So I want this column to go down a bit. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to add a margin top. So margin top, let's see what 10 pixels is going to do. So 10 pixels, okay, 10 pixels seems to be about right. You can just play around with this to see what matches. Okay, maybe you have an image here and you want it to match with this. So this is how you will do it. You just select the element and then you add some kind of a margin. Then copy. Since I already have this in my CSS, in my custom CSS, you remember when I added this red color for this, it is the same element. So I'm just going to add that CSS inside there, which is here. Done. Go to the next step so that we can save it. And if I come back here and I reload, I will see that this is now in line with this, and that's what we want. Now, what else is remaining on this landing page? I mean, seriously, we have done all we can do for this landing page. And if you want to change anything for yours, go ahead and change something, like you can add some text down here, or you can even bring this to be up instead of being down here. It's entirely up to you. Like this free, this is not motivating enough for someone to join. Maybe you can tell them, learn how to use Bluehost. You can phrase your heading the way that you want. You can even build, once you build this, you can duplicate it, change the heading, bring the heading up here just to see which one converts better. And by doing that, you're going to know which design is better for you to concentrate your time on. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to design my thank you page, okay? And I'm going to do that in the next video. Since the previous video was pretty long, let this one be a short video, all right? I will see you in the next video. And in the next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to design this thank you page. I'm just going to add a button, and the button is going to have the link with this. So I will see you in the next video. So we are now in the thank you page, and you can have two alternatives. You can use this, or you can redirect people to a different website. Okay, you'll just add the link in there. But for my case, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to edit this, and if I click on edit, I will be able to edit my thank you page. And I want to add buttons, these buttons. I'm going to add these two buttons inside of that thank you page. So as soon as somebody subscribes, he or she is going to see two buttons, and is going to choose where they want to go and view the course, assuming that I was going to make this live. So I'm going to click on that, and the first thing I want to change is that I need to put my logo. So I will go into Business logo there, and I'll use that. And then while that one is uploading, I can just come here and I will change this. You know what? I'll just come here and copy this. Copy. If you want to change the text for this, select it and then paste in the element that you want to paste in there. It came with a CSS and we don't want that. So what's happening here? Okay, I can't do two things at the same time. Let me wait for this to finish uploading. The first thing, the button. I'm going to paste it in by removing the styles. Sign up on Skillshare. Let me make this button green. I will make it green, but first let me take the link, copy link address, and then I'm going to paste the link in there. Then the button background color, let me make it some form of green, right? And then the hover color, yeah, let me make it another shade of green. And if you want to increase the font size, select that and make that 20. And then I'll duplicate this button. And the text, copy that, bring that in here. Paste as plain text. Then the second button, copy. Then I will come here and I will select everything and then I will paste as plain text. Sign up on Udemy, and Udemy, let's make it red. So that's it for this button, and that's it for the thank you page. That's it. You sign up, it will bring you to this page. Once it brings you here, you can join on Skillshare or join on Udemy, but I haven't added the link. So I will come here and copy link address, and once I copy, I can just paste. I can just paste in the link in here. Then I'll click on done and then I'll save changes, and that ought to do it for our thank you page. So if you already have a page that you want to use for this, you can just click there and then add in the URL. For me, this is good enough for the thank you page. As soon as somebody subscribes, they use the form on my landing page, it's going to bring them here. Just the same way it works with forms, and you've seen this in forms. And then we're going to save and continue so that you can see what this information thing is about. Now, of course, you can see here when you hover, look at the title that you're getting. Let's choose this, control, copy, and then write title of the page. So this is what is going to appear when I hover. You can see it's not going to be that HTTPS page, whatever. It's going to be this. And then the page URL, we've already generated this, so we don't really care. But we know that since we are on the free plan, we are going to be using page.co, just like it is here. And if you want to add a custom domain, you're going to have to upgrade, okay? So let me say I click on add domain. There, okay? So first of all, I'm going to have to upgrade. This is a paid feature at wahowa.com, and I don't know, is it possible for me to just use this without having to add a subdomain? Let's see. Okay, there's an issue. So in that case, what I can do is I'm just going to add www, and that will bring us this. Let's see what happens next, because I don't know whether this can work if I'm on the free plan. Let's just continue on and see where it leads us. All right. So added new domain, and okay, so the CNAME record has not been added. Okay, so I can just fix this very easily. Okay, you can see as soon as you say fix, it needs you to upgrade. So let's continue on with this in the next video. Okay, but for now, let me come back here, and I want to see what else we have. So active list, you have to choose a list. All right, you need to choose a list whereby when people subscribe on your landing page, they will be taken. When they sign up on this form, they need to be taken somewhere. You can choose one of the lists that you already have here, and that's pretty much it for this. Okay, so we'll just save and continue. The next step is integrate. If you have accounts on any of these other platforms, you can just come here and and integrate with them so that when you sign up, when people sign up, they will be added to your lists on MailChimp or your list on GetResponse, Aweber, ActiveCampaign, any of this. And you know how to integrate with Mailmunch and GetResponse, because I did a video about that while we were looking at forms. If you already have one integrated account, you can just choose it from here, or you can add new. So in my case, I don't really care about integrating. I will just save and continue. And of course, we are done publishing this page. So that's pretty much it for this section of landing pages. Okay, we have built the landing page. We have seen how you can use custom CSS. You've seen me add a video here. So this video, if you want to add a Vimeo video, I used YouTube, but if you want to add a Vimeo video, vimeo.com, then you can just go and get your embed code from Vimeo, and then you come and add it here. And in the same way I made this video responsive, you're going to do it in a similar manner. You'll just change the iframe. You'll just change the iframe that I added for my YouTube video, and then you're going to add yours from Vimeo. Here's the link. Okay, so you take this link, and you share it everywhere, on Facebook, on Twitter, on your Instagram account, your profile page. You can add this link there, tell people, hey, sign up, there's something amazing coming up, sign up. And if people come to your page, they can read all this, they can watch the video, and they will join using this form. And when they join, what happens? They will get the thank you page. And on my thank you page, the workflow, the process is such that when you sign up, you get the option to join the course on Skillshare or on Udemy. And both buttons are there with both links. So that's pretty much it for this section for landing pages. In the next video, I'm just going to show you how you can add this thing about, you can add the CNAME records. I thought about upgrading the account, but then I realized that this is something I can show you without really upgrading my account. As soon as I click on fix it, I'm pretty sure they're going to show me some CNAME records. And once I get the CNAME records, I'm going to add them to my domain registrar. So if your domain is registered on GoDaddy, your domain is registered on Namecheap, wherever your domain is registered, there is always a place where you can manage your domains. And in that place where you can manage your domains, you will go in there and add the CNAME record. So I'm going to sign up into Namecheap in the next video, and I'm going to show you how you can add these CNAME records. Okay, you just need to add some kind of a record, and it will redirect this. Where is it? It will redirect this to my domain. So you saw that it needs a subdomain for it to work. But since we are pretty smart people, we know that even www is a domain, and you can just use that instead of adding something like my new landing page or my new ebook.whatever.com. So you just use this. Maybe you've just bought a new domain for the purpose of this landing page. You can just add www instead of having to add something else there that's going to confuse people. Okay, the easier the better. So that's it for this video. And that's it for this section on landing pages. In the next video, what am I going to do? I'm just going to go into Namecheap. I'm going to log into my Namecheap account, and then I'm going to show you how you can add a new CNAME record in your domain records. So I will see you in the next video.